Gemini rising, this is your monthly tarot check-in for July 2024. My name's Podkane, and if you don't know what your rising sign is, I invite you to check the link in the description below, which has a link to get your full astrology chart, which will also have your ascendant sign, which is another word for rising sign. Having said that, I've got a selection of cards for us today. We're going to start with a messages from your spirit guides oracle card, just to kind of give us an overview of what you're going through this month. And then we're going to do 2 rounds of 12 cards minimum, because I like to pull a lot of cards, man. It's just, they just fly out. Okay. I can't control it. So below deck as above deck, they work perfectly for this reading. Honestly, I'm really excited to use this for everybody. So I have your outer wheel, which is going to be about like your work and your self-expression, what's going on at home, people that are in your life. And then with the second round of cards, we're going to look at the as above deck. So it's going to be more spiritual matters and your inner world matters, like what you're aspiring for, what needs to change in your life, what's driving you, things like that. And then at the end, I have a spell deck that we're going to pull a card for you. If you're interested, I'll have that for you at the end of the reading. So having said all of that, I'm actually going to pause and pull all the cards since it takes a while, and I'll be right back. Okay, Gemini rising. Got all your cards here. We're going to start with your oracle card, the penguin. The period of darkness that you've been experiencing is now passing. So with like a penguin over the winter, they just huddle together, just literally for survival. Don't eat, don't travel, don't speak probably very much. I'm like thinking of that like David Attenborough documentary series, was it Planet Earth? And just showing all the penguins, like that just looks like misery. And I see a lot of cards here that look really tough for you. So I'm sure it comes as no surprise when I tell you it's been very difficult recently for you. But we're going to get more information for you about how that can be moving on. Hopefully some hope for you. So starting with your first position here, we have how you appear. And I got 3 different cards. I think that depending on how close people are to you, they're seeing you differently. People that are more at a distance from you, maybe acquaintances or people that don't know you very well, are sort of seeing your situation as nothing really to celebrate with the 4 of Wands reversed. They, maybe that's rightfully so. Maybe they've got a good idea of what's going on. Maybe they don't, but they see some disruption in your home life, disruption in maybe your family, but certainly seeing that you are indeed going through some tough times. Now, people that may be friends, we have the Justice card here, and you can see this lady is like a working woman, and she's like home at night taking off her shoes, and like Justice is a card about balance. So it's like, okay, work hard, play hard kind of thing. And I think that people that are somewhat close to you, your friends and things like that, are like, they're really, dealing with what's going on with a lot of balance. They're being fair to themselves and to others. They're, taking time for rest, and that's really good, but they're still getting on with their life, which is good too. And, we'll see in like the next round of cards as to like how much of this is like really how you're experiencing it. 'Cause I kind of have a suspicion that that's like putting on a brave face. But the people that are closest to you, we have the King of Cups reversed. And the people that know you best see that there is a lot of emotional instability going on right now, where you don't feel secure in your emotions and you're not willing to share them. You're not comfortable with sharing them at this time. The King of Cups typically upright is a person who has a lot of emotional wisdom and emotional literacy, and is able to explain how they're feeling very clearly. And the people closest to you just don't see that you're able to do that right now. Maybe they want to be emotionally supportive, but you're not able to communicate your needs or how you're feeling. And it could be because of the behavior of like, let's just, let me handle this myself. I'm capable of, balancing rest, relaxation, and self-care along with taking care of my business. Moving on to what you have, we have the Four Swords and the Five of Wands reversed. I mean, this is like Four Swords is like, again, another card of rest. It's a card of withdrawing from situations and people, sleeping a lot, maybe thinking a lot about the past. With the Five of Wands reversed, it's sort of like an energy of just feeling defeated, feeling completely sapped of all and drained of all of your energy. Because the Five of Wands is like not desiring to compete, want to get out of the fight. It's like a desire to just give up. These two together for what you have is really tough. And if this seems true for you, I'm so sorry you're going through this right now. It's kind of just like you just don't have anything left to give, and maybe trying to go on and put on a brave face is taking all that you have, and being very emotionally exhausted can leave you without the emotional bandwidth to communicate how you feel, to talk to people about difficult emotional things, mental health issues, anything like that. Stress and overwhelm can kind of leave you in like a brain fog. And this is just like, I just don't want to fight about it. I don't want to try to force my voice to be heard. Maybe some people around you aren't really listening. I would rather just be alone. What you're thinking about, we have the Star reversed. Like this just kind of echoes more of this position of, can't really see the light at the end of the tunnel, not thinking currently about goals and dreams and wishes, and like all of that stuff just feels so far away. I don't know. It's just sort of like what I had planned probably isn't going to happen. And this is, kind of what you're thinking right now. I'm not saying that's the case. How can I enjoy the simple things in life when I have nothing driving me? It's a very dark place to be mentally. Let's get some more information for you. At home, this is either what's going on in your home or just what's going on around you, where you are. We have the Nine of Wands reversed, and I kind of got a story with this also. So Nine of Wands upright is typically like a wounded warrior, someone that's been hurt, but they're still fighting. And with it reversed, it's like, I'm letting down all of my barriers. I have, it could be healing, but I don't know. I think in your home, you're kind of just like, I already have to keep myself together for the people outside, maybe at work or other people around that don't know me as well, that I want to kind of keep these relationships up. So I'm going to kind of fake it a little bit. At home, you're just like, I can't even bother to be defensive, guarded, to fight for myself. All barriers are down, even the ones you place upon yourselves for, like responsible behavior, or with what you're going through, even like kind behavior. Like I'm just not trying. I don't have anything to try, any energy to try. What you see is what you get. So the story that I got, we have the High Priestess reversed, the Wheel, Seven of Wands, and the Strength reversed. And for this, I'm just kind of feeling like, High Priestess reversed first off is, all the secrets are out, kind of, but even more, it feels like some kind of extreme energy. Like things are very polarized. With this, there's an inability to be in the middle and kind of see both sides. It's just like, no, this is how it is. Something very final, I want to say. And with the Wheel, it's like, this is a time period in your life that you're currently experiencing where things have gotten to be very black and white. And because of that, a situation has come about where you're required to fight through difficult circumstances, and you are not finding the strength, the patience, the willpower, the desire, any of it. Something due to the Wheel that was very polarized and something that was very polarized. I can't get more specific than this because it's probably different for different people. Something that was very black and white and final and like, just like, here it is. There's no room for interpretation. This type of energy came into your life during this time. And because of that, you're required to fight through difficult circumstances, but you feel you do not have the strength. Therefore, in your home life, whether that's with your family, whoever you live with, or maybe even just like the upkeep of your home, like doing chores and taking care of, getting the laundry done and things like that. It just feels like an insurmountable task. You've stopped trying. You're just like, I'm just going to let everything go. But there also may be something else here with like not acknowledging that you're deeply wounded. That may be for some of you. Next, we have self-expression. Seven of Cups reversed and the Magician. This is again like brave face behavior of like, Seven of Cups reversed is making a choice and standing by it, being very definitive, trying to be as clear as possible. And the Magician is doing it all yourself. And so, right now you're not interested in trying to rely on others. Maybe you feel that you don't have many people to rely upon. Maybe it's just like, no, it's just me. I just have to do this myself because I'm alone in the situation. And I'm just going to do it my way, which is fine. I mean, like for as far as doing it your way, I think there may be others that might want to help, but I just think that you've taken on all of this mindset and feelings and kind of internalized it to, this is my, even my burden to bear. Others are busy with their lives. They have other stuff going on. It's business as usual for them, where I'm going through basically a crisis. So it's up to me. I'm just going to do things my way in my own time, and that there's no choice. And you feel very clear about that concept that you're alone, I guess. For your work, we have the Ace of Swords reversed. I mean, just as a side note, you may have told a little bit of white lies. I don't feel it very strongly, but like a little bit of lying maybe to your job. Maybe you were like, I clocked in and worked 10 hours today, but really it was like you clocked in and then kind of took a little nap here and there, or something like that. It doesn't feel like super egregious, but maybe you've had to be, a little, maybe you chose to lie a little bit to kind of get more of the needed rest. You've had to prioritize this. You've been forced to prioritize this. And another concept that I'm getting here is not feeling like you can come out on top in work right now. Maybe something happened where you feel like a failure. Or maybe there's some lies, some kind of duplicitousness going on in your workplace. This kind of just feels far away. Compare that to everything else that's going on for you personally. I don't think a lot of your focus is on your work right now, which I totally understand given what's going on. I wouldn't worry too much about this at this time, because if there was something to be worried about, we would get, other cards that would be like, oh, it's all going to come crashing down or something. Like, there's cards for that. They're not here. I almost feel like this work is kind of furthest from your mind right now. So in the relationship, this would be like a marriage, a partnership, best friend, family member, somebody that you live with, whoever's closest to you. We have the Hangman reversed. And I feel like your person is not being helpful to you in this situation anywhere nearly as much as you really need. They may have not realized or not accepted that things are different, perhaps, for you. I hope this isn't your normal, this period of darkness. Like, they may not be accepting the reality of what this period of darkness is for you. This card reverse is like someone who just wants to continue on with doing whatever they were doing. It's sort of selfish energy, indulgent, lacking in perspective, lacking in understanding or desiring to understand others' perspectives. This is, I'm sure, very frustrating for you because this is entirely unhelpful. But like, why are they like this? What can be done about it? So I'm going to say, why are they like this right now? First off, for you, get some help. This Hangman reverse needs help from Jesus. Okay. So why are they like this? The Knight of Cups. They are being like this because they actually think that they're helping, but they're doing performative tasks that don't have real value. The Knight of Cups is like, the romantic knight in shining armor, but in the sense of like a movie, like, oh, I'm going to sweep you off your feet and, kiss the Sleeping Beauty and all will be well. And it's like, no, Sleeping Beauty needs a therapist to talk through the trauma of being locked in a tower for all of her life. Or do you know what I'm saying? This person doesn't have any clue that they really think that they're doing, they think that they're putting their best foot forward and doing their best, but like, these are performative tasks. These are performative actions and performative words. I think if I'm going to make that assessment, I'm going to also say that they have no idea of the depth of this star reverse in particular. They have no concept of what it would feel like to be in a state of hopelessness. Not to this level. They don't know about how alone you are. The positive is that they do care. The negative is that they don't know how to help. Their method of help is damn near useless. I mean, like a Knight of Cups, I think, could be best appreciated. Like, they're actions could be best appreciated by someone who just wanted like a little more spice in their life, or like a little bit more inspiration, romance, and like you're just so beyond all of that, so that this type of behavior looks false. It looks like a delusional fantasy to you. It's so detached from what you feel is reality right now. It's detached from your reality right now. It's like, oh yeah, take me to dinner. That's going to clear all this shit up. So how can you ask for help from this person? How can you ask for help from them? The world. I mean, they need to know that whatever has happened for you and whatever you're going through is a absolute game changer for you in your worldview, your psychological makeup, your emotional bandwidth, and everything else. But I also think that since you are not able to communicate very well what's going on here, you would be better served with sending them like a YouTube video talking about like what has happened with you and how people, like a psychologist or a therapist on YouTube that's like explaining something like that. You watch it and you're like, yes, that's what I'm going through. And then you show that to your person. I think that would be the best way to communicate it, because they're going to have the words, they're going to have the bandwidth, they're not going to be personally involved, obviously. And that would be easier to understand by your person because it's objective. It's not coming through the lens of how you feel right now. It's not coming through the lens of like the stress and feeling of weakness, not wanting to fight, not having the will to fight anymore, feeling hopeless. Look for some type of media, YouTube, TikTok, articles, what have you, whatever, clicks with you, something that freaking clicks with you, that you watch it and you're like, this explains a lot. This is talking about what I'm going through. This is explaining things to me that I couldn't really understand. And then you show that to your person and say, okay, this is what's going on with me right now. And I would love it if you could please freaking watch this and get a fucking clue, because, these performative behaviors is not really cutting it at all. So we kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier, but what others have, and this is like, in this reading, is sort of what's the biggest challenge to what you have. It's the Eight of Pentacles and the Chariot. I mean, you're kind of looking out to the wider world, people that whether this is, a partner or your closest loved one, or just peers, friends, your community, people in general, that you might be comparing yourself to. It's the Eight of Pentacles, working hard, getting it done, just like something about this is really important, is like the normality of it all. Like life is just continuing as normal for them. And they have everything under control. And I would say in the context of this, you're feeling that things are absolutely not normal. There's something very abnormal about how you feel and what's going on in your life right now, and that you don't feel like you have control over it. And what are you learning through this experience? I think this is actually really powerful and like our first good sign of like hope for you. The Ten of Wands. So this is about all the hard work, everything that we've been working towards and working for, and it all being worth it. Because, I'm sorry, my dog keeps moving around. She's driving crazy. Everything that we've worked for has been worth it. And it's a 10. It's the final card in the suit. And it's like you're learning about the ultimate purpose for the entire Wands journey. And we do see, some Wands here in some critical places in this reading. The Wands journey is about the journey of self development, the journey of self, like the ego, in a positive way. Where you start out inspired, you look out to see what's out there in the world. You know, you gain a new perspective and make a choice. You know, you reach a new land, I guess, in the archetype of the tarot. But bringing that down to earth, it would be like, okay, I've gotten married, or I've bought a house, or I've landed my first big job in my career, or something like that. Like you've kind of made that first accomplishment, but now you've got to fight for it, and you've got to fight for your voice. And in the Six of Wands, it's like you'll be celebrated when you speak up. And then, it's like, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, actually. I've just decided, but like, it's a journey of like self-awareness, self-actualization. So at the end of that journey, in the Ten of Wands, this individual has traveled the world. They've built themselves something. They've built their reputation. They've fought for what they believe in against great odds. They've defended themselves adequately, but now they're here where they are assessing what was it all for. And that's where you're at with all of this. That's why you have the penguin here, that the period of darkness that you've been experiencing is now passing. Is because you've reached the 10. And then the very next card is the 0, the Fool, which is the let's begin anew. Everything that has happened in your life, I'm going to make a big statement, has led up to this point. Everything that has happened in your life has led up to this point. And there is some very important realization about the person you are through this experience. The night is at its darkness before the light. This is the intense pressure that you needed, that a person needs, to have it all focused on them, all focused on you. Maybe in the past you would have been more willing to talk to others, to ask for help, to look to others and what they're doing, to have that be as a guideline for what you should be doing, or what's okay with you, what's not okay with you. At this point, you're seeing such a separation from others that there's no choice but to be in yourself and to make judgment calls about your behavior, your feelings, your experience based only on your own personal baseline. In the past, I was really happy when I was doing this. Right now, even though others are happy or seem to be doing well with this type of job, I'm totally unfulfilled. It's like a pressure cooker of really refining and telling to you who you are. As difficult as it may be. I think Gemini rising, you could be a very other-oriented and people-oriented and always looking out there for inspiration and ideas and just the insane curiosity. And I hope you understand what I mean when I say this, but difficult circumstances, some, especially ones as hard as these, could be the only things that would interrupt that other-oriented nature of yours to give you the experience of just sitting and experiencing yourself and asking yourself the questions about who am I, what am I good at, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, what is my purpose. Even if you don't have answers to all those questions right away, you may have asked them before, but then you looked at others to give you answers. this time you can't do that because you're so disconnected from the lived experiences of others right now, that you're in a place where you understand, okay, this is just me. I'm the one that's going through this. I'm the one that's experienced this. Nobody else around me understands me. And that's, I'm sure, very, very isolating and difficult for you, especially as a social person. But what else could have forced you into a position where now everything is at the baseline of what do you want? How do you feel? And to totally just set aside what everyone else is doing, what's right for them, and really be assessing your hopes, your dreams, your strengths and weaknesses, fears, and everything else on the baseline of yourself and nothing more. It's just a process of self-becoming that is particularly difficult for you based on the way you're wired. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some things come far more easily to you than they do to others, and they'll have a very difficult experience to put them in the pressure cooker of learning to communicate with others, something that maybe comes very naturally to you. Learning to think critically. It's I only say that just for perspective, that I guess I don't know how to say it. Like, maybe I just better not. If you got something from that, I'm glad, but otherwise we're going to move on. So the next card is your friends. This is like your wider associations and people that maybe are seeing you kind of here and here, right? Like that some of them may know you well and they know there's trouble, and some of you may be some of them may be very like impressed with how well you're handling it all. But we have the moon reversed, which is wonderful. Okay, first of all, it's just like, all right, you're finding out first of all who's really your friend and who isn't. Who's a false person and who isn't, who's close to you, who can tell you the truth, who can be honest with you. Which of your friends right now are offering platitudes and toxic positivity of, oh, you're doing so well and we're so proud of you. Like that's a thing, and that I don't want to come down on them for that. But is there anything here that you've just really, you're not trying to communicate, you're losing hope, you're withdrawing, you're not wanting to fight, you don't feel that you have the strength, you're trying to do it all on your own? Are there any of your friends right now that are calling you out on this and being like, you don't have to do this alone. We want to help. Of course you're feeling drained because you're doing all of this by yourself. Let us in. Those are the people that are proving themselves to you to have the insight that you value, especially at this time. They have the staying power. They're not just fair weather. And they have something really powerful to offer you as well. I think Gemini rising could be a person that gets into friendships and relationships that stay on the superficial, because that's something that may have been very comfortable to you, especially when you were younger. As superficial relationships, like, let's not talk about our trauma today. I just wanted to gossip, or whatever it is, right? But this is anything but superficial. I mean, this is like the superficial deck, and and it's already getting deep. So there is a time and place for emotional awareness, for insight and intuition, and there are people around you right now that do have it. They see you, and they're willing to stick around for that kind of stuff. You're kind of getting a little bit of a revelation with your circle, and maybe a value change as well. That it's not just about, oh, we can laugh and hee hee ha ha, but like when things get really shitty for me, can you be there? Will you stay? Or were you just here for the hee hee ha ha's? what are the limitations right now? We have the Ace of Pentacles, and then Six of Pentacles and Three of Cups. So, I mean, what's limiting is just putting that first foot forward, asking for help, and the being surrounded by people who are fake. And it's not to say that they're like two-timing you or they're talking shit behind your back. Like, I don't think that's it at all. When I say fake, I mean superficial. I mean that maybe your friendships and your relationships have been cultivated like on that basis where you don't really know too much about me. You don't know what's going on here in my home life because I don't talk about it, because that's not fun or interesting. Like, let's talk about different subjects and things going on in the world, or what's going on with our favorite movies or TV shows, or whatever. And they've done the same with you. So now when it comes to difficulty and serious matters, they are like, hey, I'm so sorry, like, or just simply like overlooking the elephant in the room for whatever it is that you're going through and just trying to carry on as you always have. I think that you do have a lot of people that are genuinely wanting to give to you. I think your ability to receive is to receive that help in whatever way it comes, whether it is just like, hey, let's go out and let's party, let's blow some steam off, let's hang out, and and that's understandable if you're going through this. That makes plenty of perfect sense why it would be difficult to accept that type of help. But there's also people here who are like, I see that you are struggling and I have something to offer you that will help, that I know can help. And even those people, it can be hard to accept their offering right now. That's something that is holding you back. Is it's hard to accept what people have to offer and help, because you may know exactly what it is that you need, but you're having trouble communicating it. Others are trying to offer things. Maybe they could help you, but you're just like, that's not what I asked for. Well, what do you want? I didn't ask for anything. Okay. Like, it's being open to receive help, support, money, anything right now is a difficulty for you. Okay. I'm going to pause and pull your next round of cards, and I will be right back. Okay. Starting out with who you are in the inner world, we've got the Six of Swords. It's just like, I just need to get out of this situation. It's the escaping from troubled waters card. You're really right now, everything, your whole being is just looking for a way to get through this, to get out of this, to move to calmer waters. A lot of your focus is on that. And with what you value, it's the Two of Cups reversed. And like, in seeing this spread, I can really see where this is all leading, like what this situation is really teaching you. You're just so independent through all of this. You feel like you're so alone. You're not valuing what others have to offer you at this time, because it's not what you would offer. And it's not in the way that you expected it. It may not even be in the way that you kind of demand it. So if you can't, have your clone showing up and saying, hey, here's what you want, because I know what you want, because I'm you, then it's like, okay, well then get out. I don't want it. And it's just showing that you're not valuing that others have things to offer that maybe you're not strong in. Maybe, they have skills and talents and perspectives that you could really benefit from, because it's coming from a place that is unfamiliar to you, and it's not part of your makeup. It's something that can add to you and cover your weaknesses and cover where you're lacking. But you know, anyway, we already talked about that in the last round. We're going to get into how you're going to start to value that again. With the what needs to change card, we have 13, the death card. What needs to change? Change. I mean, this is saying that whatever has happened, it's final. Yes, it's done. You will never be the same. But your understanding of what that means needs to change, because this is a transformative experience. And the death card implies a renewal. So like even in this card, in this deck, we have the pagan holiday Yule, which is Christmas. And the symbol of Christmas, the symbol of Yule, is the darkest period before the light. It's the darkest day of the year, the winter solstice. It's when it feels like all hope is lost, with the star card reversed here in the same position, that is when the renewal is there. It's available. It becomes, and now there's a whole new world, a new potential, a new path that you never even thought to believe could be real, never dared to hope for. It's a complete renewal. It's a promise that there will be a renewal, that this isn't the end, and that there are good things waiting for you in the future. With the what's driving you position, there's the Four of Pentacles reversed, of just, everything that's going on right now with the way that you've kind of pushed others away and said, I'm going to do this all on my own, and put on a brave face. And all of that's being driven by a feeling of not having enough, of being in lack. And it's funny because I think a lot of people, if they felt that way, they would be turning to others for help. And that's just not at all the way you've approached this. Instead, you've thought, if I don't have enough, then why should I ask others for more? It's kind of, in the isolationist sense, it's like, I don't have anything to offer, so how can I ask for help? How we can't do a give and take because I don't have anything to give. And it's important to understand that that's what's driving you right now, is that kind of, forgive me for saying so, but a little bit of a backwards idea that I have to have something to offer in order to get something in return. Where it's like, if someone always had something to offer, then no one would ever need help. Other than, it would just be a business exchange. And this is so much more than that. And you have people around you that want to help you. Big time. With what do you need to do? What do you need to have the courage to do? And it's the Hermit reverse. You've got to come out of your hidey hole and do whatever makes sense to you, whatever you're capable of, to express yourself and connect with others and just let it all out. I mean, normally on this this card, you have a Gandalf the Grey looking guy, and he's standing on a mountaintop, and he has the star, the light in it, contained within a lantern, and he's looking at it, and that light is a symbol of the self and the spirit, his own human spirit, and it's contained, and he's looking at it. And so, you've been in this mindset now where you're deeply considering yourself and how you're dealing with this, and what it's all for and everything like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But what this reading is suggesting is you've kind of come up to the limit of what you're able to do personally with your wisdom, with your knowledge, with your experience, particularly because of the state that you're in. Your clarity is challenged, and you're needing perspective, you're needing support to move further, which means you've got to come down from that mountain and go back to the village. And you've got to release that spirit from its lantern in whatever way you have to. If it looks ugly, if it's, a bunch of boohooing and crying, it is what it is. There needs to be a release of that so that you can start the journey towards healing with the support of others who now have been able to also experience what's going on with you and gain more insight for themselves from their perspective, so that they then know how to help you. Like this is a huge theme here. Is you've got to do it because that's your lesson, is receiving help. That's what all of this is about. What are the details that you might miss? First, we have the King of Pentacles reversed. And then there's Moon reversed, Sun reversed, and the Four of Swords reversed. So, being withholding. And anyway, this is kind of like that greedy, like miserly card. Miserly with finances and resources and things like that. And I think if there's someone that's like this in your life, then it pertains to them. But I almost feel like this is you. And I'm not necessarily saying greedy, but like miserly, like only letting certain things out, only giving in piecemeal. With the Moon reverse, it's like truth being revealed about like how this has kind of stagnated your joy, that not giving is a thief of joy, not allowing others to give to you is a thief of their joy as well. I think that you're kind of learning about giving, and for anybody to be able to give, someone else has to be willing to receive, and that the giving experience brings so much joy to people, and it relieves a lot of the tension, it relieves a lot of the stress and the busyness. The giving is kind of the cure to what you're going through. Receiving is a cure. That exchange must happen, or this will continue. Others involved. We've got the Ten of Wands. Again, it's showing up here, but in the place of others. And the Ace of Cups, like others want to share this burden with you. They have a lot of emotional support waiting for you. They're ready to offer it. It's a burden worth having. I know you may realize that this situation is very burdensome if you were to place it on another person, and maybe that's part of why you've been resistant to talking about it and sharing it and wanting to bring others into the mess and the drama. This for them is a burden worth having because it's an opportunity to show their love for you. Don't deny them that, and don't deny yourself that. This is how relationships, real, deep, long-term, fulfilling relationships are built is by carrying each other. What are the secrets, the things that have escaped your awareness, something that you need to know about how this all went down? We've got the Knight of Wands, wisdom reversed. What's this fool's name? High Priestess reversed, and the Tower. Because you've been so headstrong, you're very willful. You said, I'm going to go out and do what I need to do and do what I want to do. And I'm going to like kind of do my own thing so that others don't get mixed up and I don't have to think about what they want and what they need. I'm not going to think too far ahead. I'm just going to fly it blind because, I feel like it. And I'm going to be led by my desires. And those desires are generated from a place of self-will. Okay, ego, selfishness. Yeah, it can show up like that, but it's like, this is what I want, so I'm doing it. And if you don't like it, well, I don't need you anyway. Because of some behavior like that, you were totally blindsided by this situation happening to you. You did not see it coming and you didn't prepare for it. Because you didn't have perspective. Because you weren't interacting with people. You weren't gaining others' insights. You weren't listening. And like, would this have happened inevitably? Perhaps, probably so, but I don't think it would have affected you to this degree. It wouldn't have been a tower, it would have been just like a change, a changing of the seasons, a change of, a dark period that inevitably led towards the light. But instead it was like the lightning bolt, the whole thing came crashing down and now you're alone. Which is just like kind of what you were asking for, honestly, with being so strong-willed and being very independent. And if you feel like you're being called out here, then maybe there's something to it. And if you're like, I've already considered this and I really try to just sort of go my own way for my best interests, then that's how it is. I mean, this is a general reading and I can't assume anything about how it applies to you. But I'm saying that this behavior absolutely has its place and time. But anything, when taken to an extreme, leads to extreme consequences. And you went too hard in the paint with the self-actualization of this aspect of it. Self-actualization can be so many, it can look very different. It can be building a home for a family. It can be fighting a war to secure freedom for others. It can look very, very different. And it absolutely can involve other people. But here it's just like, I'm feeling myself. I know myself and I know what I want and I'm going to go after it. And if you get in my way, then fuck you. And I know you can see how sometimes that's absolutely the right stance to take, but because it was done in too much excess, it didn't let other people in. It didn't consider others' opinions. It didn't ask, what do you think of this? What do you think I should do? Do you have, what's your wisdom on the matter? Because I'm inexperienced here. You were totally blindsided and placed into a situation in your life where now you have to really learn the value of asking others for their help, of offering help to others, of listening to others' perspectives, of, slowing down and seeing things from a more balanced and neutral point of view. None of us can know everything. I think there was sort of like a certainty in what you knew. And that went on for just long enough for that certainty to be shattered. And it's just because the give and take wasn't happening. Yeah. New perspectives weren't gained. What are you aspiring for through all of this? We've got the Wheel of Fortune. But in this deck, it's the Wheel of the Year. It's about the cycle of life. And with the 10 of Wands behind it, you know, you're just hoping for things to move on and get on with it. And let's go on to the next season. You know, I hate summer. It's too hot. Let's get on to fall kind of thing. And you're wanting things to move forward. You're also looking for a more fortunate outcome for yourself. You're looking for things to be bountiful again, to have your harvest again, to maybe for time to speed up. Because you have like a feeling that this isn't forever on some level. But what's the achievement? And this was pretty interesting. I really like this, actually. It's the 8 of Cups reversed with Judgment and the Knight of Swords. The 8 of Cups reverse is about... hang on a second. Okay. I kind of needed that little refresher because this is like really beautiful and really powerful. What this has all been for. The 8 of Cups, it's something you left behind, and now with the Judgment, you've gotten this reckoning. A very powerful one. It's not just an idea. It goes so far beyond that. It's a deep knowing that is so certain, and it'll stay with you forever. That it feels so good and it's so life-affirming to help someone who needs it. Absolutely needs it. It's not like, oh, can you loan me $50? It's like, I have no one else to turn to. I'm in my greatest time of need. And if I don't get support now, I don't know what will happen. And it's something that you used to know with the 8 of Cups reverse. You used to know this, but like you left it behind for some reason. And you're rediscovering that through this like reckoning, this recognition. Some old part of you that was kind of dead. And I think it was just because of reliance on yourself, desire to do things, for yourself and be your own boss. And we kind of see all that over here too. Like the desire to be totally self-reliant and maybe even something that happened in your past that was kind of traumatic, but like you left that part of yourself behind, and now you're recovering it and you're rediscovering it and you're reclaiming it to help others in their time of need is an extraordinary gift, both for the giver and the receiver. You're on the receiving end this time. You're getting a full circle moment of how that feels. You're learning to participate in that in a way that builds bonds with people that are really, really powerful and really serious and really deep and like family, like, through thick and thin and whatever may happen, any disagreements we might have, any arguments or anything like that, this transcends all of that because it's about real human need. It's not just a difference of opinions. It's not, just my desires versus yours. It's so much more than that. And this is what you're getting because of this experience. This is what you've earned because of this experience. And that's going to have a huge effect on you for the rest of your life. It's going to have a huge effect on your people for the rest of your, experience with them. It's building an unbreakable bond that you've really been needing. And how will others, how are you contributing? Like, how does this process that you're going through contribute to others and their own learning, their own perceptions about life? We have the Devil reversed, and the Five of Pentacles reversed. You're showing others that by breaking through toxic cycles, by releasing yourself through attachment to negative cycles of behavior, and this is something that you're doing here with this process. You're breaking a toxic cycle of behavior, of isolating yourself, of not letting people in, all of that. You gain entry into a safe place, a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a family, a community that is protected. It's healing. It's nurturing to the soul and to the spirit. It's stable. It's secure. And this process for you, where people see, okay, this person wasn't really trying to let others in. They were keeping things on a superficial basis. They were trying to do it all themselves. But now, because they've let people in and they've started to share on a real authentic basis, and they've accepted the help, and they're willing to step in and be that help for others, that is how you build unbreakable bonds, communities, families, found family with people. And that will be inspiring to people around you when they see your transformation. And this, make no mistake, this is absolutely a huge transformation for you. So what needs releasing? We have the King of Wands, Five of Cups. This independent self that is like, I'm the leader of my own life. I go my own way. If you see, they're facing the past. And that's because this independence came from a place of trauma. It came from a place of focusing on what can happen when you get too close to someone, when you trust the wrong people, when you get attached to someone and then they're gone for whatever reason. It's this association that has to be released. That I must be independent, because when I get too close to people, when I let people in, when I get attached to them, when I feel like I need them, then I will be left lacking. There's a one-to-one relationship in your mind that's saying, when I rely on people, when I ask for help from people, when I let people in, I will be hurt. And that has to be released, because I'm not here to tell you that that can't happen. I know you know that can happen, but that doesn't mean it always happens. And that doesn't mean that it's worth it to guard yourself and go through all of this alone and let it get to such a degree just because you're avoiding this small trauma. And not small. Okay, the reason why I said small is because it's the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups in the traditional deck, there's 3 cups spilled over and the person is mourning them, but there's 2 cups still upright behind them. Yes, hurts can happen, but there is always something still good to be appreciated and some silver lining to the situation. You've been avoiding these 3 cups spilt by being fiercely independent and isolationist, that you never recognized that it was still worth it. Even when these things happen, it's still worth it to love and to let people in and to have close associations and to be real and vulnerable with people. And in the process of doing that, this mess has occurred. Things have gotten to a point where they didn't need to be, where they didn't have to be, just because you were avoiding those 3 cups. And I hope that makes sense. Regardless, this is an incredible human experience that you're going through. It's very beautiful. You'll see it that way one day. And I'm so sorry for how painful it is and how I'm, if you stayed with me through this whole reading and you've gotten anything from this, just know that you're very supportive, that people want to love you. They want you to let them in. They're waiting to understand and be compassionate towards you. And you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. And it's worth it. A little bit of pain is worth all the love that's waiting for you. So for your spell card, we have Moon Day Tea Sacrament. Brew a pot of jasmine tea and let it cool. Add honey to taste and drink the mixture with a good friend or a new acquaintance. Jasmine is a vine that represents the intertwining of people. Stop. I made it through this whole freaking reading and then I start crying when it gets to this. Oh my God. You will be more bonded to anyone with whom you share the sweet ritual. I recommend brewing up the batch every Monday or Moon Day to ensure that each week is filled with joyfulness. As the jasmine tea steeps, pray, on this Moon Day in this new week, I call upon the spirits to guide joy to my door. By this moon, on this day, I call upon Artemis and Selene, ladies fair, to show me the best way to live. For this I am grateful. Blessed be the brew, blessed be me. And I'll hold that up. You can pause it, read it. All right, so Gemini rising. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was insightful. I hope I didn't hurt your feelings too bad. I felt like there's just a little taste of tough love in there, but most of it was very affirming. I really enjoyed reading that for you. And I hope that the light is on its way for you in this month and through this month. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you again next month. Bye.